That feeling that when you press record and it's too late because I've already played a whole bunch. So I actually was just talking to myself for this last little bit, and it's a little bit humiliating, embarrassing, and annoying because I actually just gave you the whole blow by blow of what got me into Undertale, and you get to miss out on that because I don't really like to repeat myself in a short period of time. But I'm gonna do it anyway. So this is where I was when you last saw me. I haven't really advanced much. In other news, I've done these duo before, got down to 4 health and then just ran away. But now I'm actually going to try and take it seriously instead of just talking. Okay, sweet. Oh yeah, this guy's projectile gets a lot more fast when he's like this. Like this isn't by himself. It's really interesting, in Undertale, whenever there was multiple items in a list and the first one disappeared, it wouldn't have a gap like this, but even in the items, look, I've got some gap items here for some weird reason. That's okay, you know, he had to make the engine, or replicate the engine himself. That's fair enough. He had to make it from scratch. Whatever. Or maybe he didn't, I don't know, there are some Undertale fangame engines out there. Anyway, how I got into Undertale, I will speedrun my long-winded explanation. Me in 2016 was involved in a production for drama, and basically there was lots of people milling around. There's a lot of milling around if you are involved in a production and you're not one of the big boys. You're not one of the the main people running things. You're just like an extra, or you're just an ensemble member. So there was a lot of time filling. A lot of people played Undertale on their computers, amongst other things, Terraria, other games that kind of blew my mind like that and made me want to play them. And for some reason I didn't. I was just playing cool math games that time. Anyway, 2 years later, I was looking for a game to play. I looked up Undertale on YouTube. I saw someone do like the Flowey interaction at the very start. I was originally just gonna like watch a playthrough of it, like Jacksepticeye on YouTube or something. And then I was like, nah, this is too good. Like just that first moment with Flowey, I was like, I know I'm gonna love this game. And actually, the reason I started playing it was because I was looking for like a good boss fight sort of game, because I've got into boss fights really a lot for some reason. I've been playing a lot of Mario, and actually Mario is not very good for boss fights. That's probably why, like, the boss fights in Mario probably kind of left me wanting. Anyway, I got into it, and I'd seen the Sans fight, and I knew nothing about the game. I was just like, I kind of knew who all the characters were, and I kind of knew that you had to fight them all, and I kind of also knew that killing people was bad because I'd already seen like the Sans verdict, like the verdict that was like, you know, I already knew what like level was, so there was kind of some essential game mechanics that I kind of already knew the lore behind them. That's interesting. In Undertale, you can press left here and you go all the way to Mercy, but you have to, in this game, you have to go back and forth like that. That's fun. Anyway, so I did a playthrough. It was relatively blind in the sense that, like, it made me feel, it made me laugh, it made me cry, it made me angry. When I was angry, it was mostly at Flowey. I beat the true ending, with a little help from the wiki. Not too much help, like I worked out most of it myself. I fought Azrael, and then I went on to the main reason why I played Undertale, which was to fight Sans. Like, that is kind of was always the motivation. I was like, at some point, there's this cool character called Sans, I'm gonna fight him. Like, I don't really care about all the other characters too much. I mean, I cared enough about them, like, they're cool characters and all. But it was always, like, they weren't, like, the reason that I was gonna play it. How am I still getting hit? This hitbox is terrible. Anyway, so I did a pacifist route. Flowey was like, dude, don't come back. And I was like, sorry buddy, I'm gonna come back. Worse than ever. No, I did that. I think I can just run from this. I think if I return back it works out bad. Well, just then I didn't turn back and it worked out fine. Not fine, I mean. Well, just then I stood still and it was like, you can juke him like that. That juke did not work. Good thing Demo Man can't throw swords in actual TF2. Well, I mean, he's a bit drunk anyway, so he can miss. I got distracted. What was I talking about? Doesn't really matter. Here's some puzzles. I think I already messed up. Anyway, it was really interesting. The first time I did an Undertale playthrough, I would play at times I was not supposed to be playing. I'd play in my bed. I'd play when I was supposed to be doing homework. I'd play in class. And basically, I didn't hear the soundtrack because the best way to get away with playing video games when you're not supposed to, listen up kids, is to do it with the sound off. Except that's a giant missed opportunity, especially with games that have such a cool soundtrack like this one does. Same with Cuphead also. When I beat Cuphead, I did not listen to the soundtrack. The soundtrack kind of annoyed me actually at the time. I think I like the Cuphead soundtrack now. Anyway. I intend to buy my Undertale and play it at some point. Anyway, so I've done what I call an incomplete genocide route, as well as a true pacifist route. Basically, what an incomplete genocide is you abort it somewhere. So, but I did like a Sans incomplete genocide. So I beat Sans, and what that means is Sans remembers that I beat him. He does the, you know, that look on your face. You're kind of a freak, huh? Or he just looks at me and does like ... How would I beat these guys again? I have to moisturize this guy over and over again. So yeah, that's how I got into Undertale, and I really like it. I think after Undertale, I was like, bro, I wish there was more games like this. I was kind of sad that there wasn't. I was like, Toby Fox is not going to release another game, that's sad. So, oh boy, 2018 was a fan game year for me, because what happened, someone was like, oh dude, Undertale, you keep raving about this game, but I heard there's like a sequel or something coming out. I was like, what? This was in 2018. And they're like, oh yeah, Undertale Yellow, it's about like one of the other guys. I was like, wait, what? So I looked it up on YouTube, internet, turned out it was not made by the same guy. It didn't matter to me, it looked just as cool. So I downloaded it, and I think that's how I got into Undertale fan games. I was like, dude, other people are making stuff with the same energy, not obviously the same genius, not with the same, you know, level of music intent. Well, Undertale Yellow is yet to be released. I played the demo. It's still in development. It is still awesome. And it's going to be great when it's released. What's this guy talking about? That's a good poem, thanks dude. I have a friend called Etak who kind of speaks like Papyrus sometimes. Kind of the abrupt, wacky, awesome stuff. Dude, this is prices are a ripoff. Anyway, so I got into a whole bunch of fan games. I can't remember all of them off the top of my head, but I played the Undertale Yellow demo. I played what else did I play? I played Undertale Red. Can recommend that one. I did not play Undertale Green because it had a completely different art style. I played Ink Sans, but I think there's a couple of Ink Sans, so I'm not really sure which one it was. Anyway, that one I had to cheat, but there was like a cheat code you could use, so you always had healing. At some point I'll go back and actually beat that game. What else did I do? Demo Man's gonna demo this page. I did quite a few. I did the demo of Disbelief Papyrus, but now they've like released the whole thing. I started trying to play that. That is too hard. A lot of them are too hard. Like a lot of them are Sans Fight or harder. And Sans Fight was important to me because like I'd seen it 2 years prior. I was like, dude, this is 2 years in waiting. I'm gonna do this, man. So there's, just because it's as hard as Sans doesn't make it fun for me. Although I could just bring the fun and snap the jobs again. Don't know what he said, wasn't really listening. Anyway, so I tried to do a genocide route in overtime. Multiple times. Like, I think in 2020 I tried to do it. It is very unforgiving. More so, like, a genocide route in Undertale is alright. There are tips and tricks to it, to make it a little bit more bearable. Like, there's a lot of grinding. I do not like grinding as a general rule. And I'll tell you what, there's a lot of that in Undertale. In overtime it's worse, though, because... a couple of reasons. One, that if you want a good Undyne fight to kind of keep you motivated halfway through, you don't really get one, unfortunately. The other reason is that I think, like, the mobs, there's something about the mobs that are just less bearable to... Oh, I unblocked this one, I've already been here. Something about the mobs that are it's just less bearable to kill them. Anyway, I also did... Ow. Having my hand on the mouse. Well, ignore the arrow keys, and that's actually what's important. Yeah, so I should go back and do that at some point. I should probably do it after my True Pacifist playthrough of this. It's just so annoying. But the only fun bit is the Dell fight, and I rage quit that because... You know, there's only 3 things I've ever rage quit. Cuphead, and I came back to it and beat that. I want to be the guy... No, what's it called? I want to be the guy, the movie, the game. I rage quit that, and Overtime Dell. And I resolve, I will go back and beat it at some point. It wasn't really a rage quit with any of those, because all of them, when I rage quit, I was like, dude, I can't handle this now, I'll go back and beat it later. I need to stop talking at the moment, because this actual bit is like one of my favourite bits of the entire game right now. Why am I telling you this? You're about to die anyway. Little weasel. Freedom! Demo Man is badass. That's so fitting that he is the, what's it called? I forgot what it's called. The, Undyne. Oh, I killed someone else. He doesn't even really care how they're important. Anyway, because they're both missing an eye. I love the cameras just every which way. I wonder if I have to do that multiple times. Yeet. How about you? Tavish, alright. Drink. I'm gonna kill both of you. The Undyne fight was so hard for me the first time I did it. But then this is one of the only fights that I feel like is easier. Apart from the Asgore fight, because the Asgore fight is literally just a minigun. And a minigun's pattern is really easy to block. And what's easy about this one is he just gets so drunk he just keeps missing you. Well, he hit me once. What's he doing with that one? So I think we can do the same thing with Undyne with this one. It took me so long to figure out how to beat this. Hey dude. Little help. I think I actually killed Undyne the first time. Oh, I don't think she dies. I think you just attack her and then she goes away. Yes, when you are drunk, I do. Call me Sans, because I'm dodging all these attacks. No, freedom! Have you met him, by the way? Whoa. Blinken runs at me. Attacks drunkenly. Dude, this fight. Do I even need to do anything anymore? AFK battle? Oh, he got me. Oh, okay. No more alcohol. I love how these guys provide you with a way to like get out of their fights. No, freedom! Now we have to offer him some water. Actually, he doesn't like water. But I think we're gonna do it anyway. Oh, it's a beer cooler, nice. There you go. Yeah. Hey, wait. I'd forgotten about this bit. And then Deltarune came along to talk about what I was talking about. During the bit where Deltarune was released, I was... Whoa, slurs. I was away on holiday for 2 weeks with no contact with the other world, outside world, no internet, because I was on a remote island. It was a very cool remote island. Anyway, we got back, and I met some new people, and what basically happened was I told them about a whole bunch of games they liked. They told me about a whole bunch of games they liked. Ironically, that was the guy, he's called Rick Run, who actually got me into TF2, so that was pretty cool. Kind of comes into this story. If we're talking about Undertale purely, it wouldn't, but we're talking about TF2 also. Anyway, he comes to me on the day that we get back from the holiday. We're not really back because we're not home, but we're back on mainland, not on the remote island anymore, and we have access to internet. And he says to me, he says, Neo. He doesn't say Neo. He says my actual name. He says, Neo, did you know that there's a freaking looking, monstrosity? No, that's not what he says. But I am talking about that with this person right here. He says, Dom, did you know that there is a Undertale 2 come out? I was like, the what? I was like, no way. And he said, yeah, it's like every now and then how there's like a meme that takes over the internet every now and then. Well, the current one is Undertale 2, and I was like, no way, I have to play this. I was so excited. So I booted it up, and it was like everything I imagined. It had a really hard secret boss as well. I went and beat Jevil. And then of course, oh here we go, we get to meet the scout. Well. Pally. Scout is in love with Miss Pauling, joke. Undertale 2, Deltarune. Very good game. I kind of was in the wrong headspace when this Chapter 2 came out. I beat the whole thing in one day, and that was kind of a bad idea because the first time I beat the first game, like the first chapter rather, I played it over a couple of days, and that was a better experience. And just like the Harry Potter series, I did it like all in one day. The first time I did it, well, not really. Well, there's a lot more content in the Harry Potter series than there is content in Deltarune 2. Fine. Thank you. Anyway, the Harry Potter series, I read 1, 2, and 3 over like a year, and then like in two years later, when I was allowed to read the other ones, I read all the rest of them. So that's what's that 4, 5, 6, 7 over like 3 days. The first time I ever read them. Anyway, just like that, and it's not as fun. Here we have Rick and Morty. And I did not beat. I kind of knew, without looking up on the internet, that like the secret boss was going to be Blinker Dude. Hang on, just a minute. Just a quick pop in from Eagle. So, yeah, that's Eagle. He told me it's dinner in 5 minutes. Anyway, an ex-slacker nervously approaches you. What was I talking about? Oh, I forgot. Oh, I think that's supposed to be like a spy. He's using butterfly knife. Oh yeah, anyway, so I'm gonna have to go back and play Deltarune 2 again. And yeah, Undertale is cool. I'm very tired. It's a lot of Australian. Oh, heck yeah. This puzzle section actually took me a while to get. Dude, I love this music. I also love Toby Fox for letting people use this sort of music in his games. Little secret here, you can actually walk on this. Little secret here, you can actually dump. You can actually not. Oh wait, I've already hired you. Dun, dun, dun. Turns out you can't walk on that pipe. Oh, I just realized these are Portal reference. I've never played Portal, but I've seen the memes. Oh, actually, in one of the other drama productions I was in, someone played Portal. That was the first time I saw it. And he, like, portaled a whole bunch of them, and he tricked them into shooting each other, because they shot everything that wouldn't move, apparently, I don't know. He was also doing Portal custom maps. I don't know, much about Portal, but I know enough about Portal to think that this is a Portal reference. Not really sure though. Oh, I'm an idiot. I was thinking about learning this song on the piano at one point because like it bangs so hard. Not quite as hard as run back. I think you do it like that. There we go. Nailed it. Easy. Is that a banana peel that I can slip on? Nope. If it's the same guys, I'm just gonna get out of here. What else to talk about? It's a pretty cool game. Bye, 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 bye. Anyway, how did I get into TF2? That's a better question. One time, Rick Run was playing a game online, and I had him on Discord, and I could see that he was playing a game. And I was like, hey dude, you playing a game? And he said, yes I am. How could you tell? And I said, you're playing a game. It's Team Fortress 2. And I was like, dude, I've heard of that game, and I know about memes about it. And he said, well, it's free on Steam. I was like, dude, heck yeah. So we loaded into some 2 Fort, and I had no clue what was going on. Dude, my aim was terrible back then. Like, if 3 Minecraft zombies were coming at me, I wouldn't be able to hit any of them, basically. Not first try anyway. Yeah, so I couldn't do anything. Like, I would just be running around trying to, like, build sentries in the wrong spot, and then, you know, trying to shoot people with my pistol because, like, I couldn't use the shotgun. But later I learned how to do Minecraft PvP, and I learned at some point that basically shotguns are just like axe crits. You just have to wait for them to load up, and get in nice and close, get them, and get away. So I got better at Minecraft aiming first. And, you know, that lent itself well to pyro and heavy. I prefer pyro over heavy because you get backstabbed a lot less. And well, there was one King of the Hill game with pyro, and it suddenly clicked, and I actually like got a kill that was not accidental for the first time. I was like, dude, pyro is the class for me. And my aim only got better from there. And so yeah, if people ever ask me how did I get good at aiming, not that I'm, you know, notably good. I'm just, you know, I can aim as opposed to previously not being able to aim. People ask me, well, how'd you learn to aim? Well, it's TF2 and Minecraft, but you know, less so. Good thing to know. I actually started playing TF2 2 years ago, and basically, what was I saying? Oh yeah, this was after it had already stopped updating, so I just kind of knew that it was like an abandoned game, so I'd never have any context of knowing it as a game that's not abandoned. So if people ask me my thoughts on it abandoned, I'll just be like, I mean, I'm just glad it's free. I mean, I paid for premium anyway. Yeah, I played 50 plus hours on free, so that was, you know, anyone can get 50 plus hours and have, you know, the most fun you can have on the internet for free. So like, go do it. It's fun. You know, check if it's age appropriate for you. You might have to wait till you're a bit older to play it, or you might have to just play it with pyrovision goggles on the whole time if you don't like that much violence. Now these 3 guys, you have to actually spare them in different ways. I actually have to leave and then come back. Yeah, and then I played that one time with him. Ah, far out. I think there's actually a certain order you have to do it in. I can't remember. We don't need help yet. Oh. Dude, I'm suck at this. I suck at this. Recently played or watched or whatever you want to call it about a Markiplier in space, or in space with Markiplier. That was pretty good. I recommend it. I think I'm just gonna not talk. Also, I'm colorblind, so it's very hard to tell apart. Haha. Just a prank. Ah. Okay, we've got one of them to stop fighting. So he's not fighting back anyway, so I didn't even need to. I'm going to die. Ah, I couldn't tell which one that was. You may be asking me the origin of my name, Neoantic. Well, my person that I know, who may or may not be obvious, or not their relation to me, called Eagle, spelt with an E, then an at. No, not an at, E. It's a backwards, it's a 3, then an it's a at, and then it's a 6, and then it's a 1, and then another 3. So it's actually not spelt with letters. It's spelt with stuff anyway. Eagle. He was interested in how the word, the famously long word, anti-disestablishmentarianism was filled with a lot of pronouns and suffixes and prefixes, and so he wanted to add onto it. He wanted to give it an upgrade. So his word was unpre post neo contra pro anti-disestablishmentarianism fullestness wisely shin, and I kind of cherry picked my favorite bit, which was the neo contra pro bit. And it's just, if you know, it's made up of completely, it's made up completely from pronouns. And I would go into, you know, public lobbies. I'd be playing on and people would call me Neo. Like, you know, when someone has like a long username, you don't just call them by their whole username. And Neo Contra Pro was pretty long. Like my friends, when I was adding them on Hypixel or whatever, they always told me, dude, this is a very long name. Do you reckon you could like shorten it or something like that? Maybe. And so kind of the most crucial bit of Neo Contra Pro, which I have the domain for, anyway, so I'll do something with that at some point, put like a website on up or something, I don't know. The most important bit was the Neo bit, and I was like, well, what do I do YouTube for? Well, I do it for antics. So I was like, well, I'll change my Minecraft name to Neo Antic. So that's why I'm Neo Antic. And also, like, being nicknamed after the coolest movie character in existence is a nice added bonus. Add an N on the end. I'm one of the elements on the periodic table. One of the coolest elements. So yeah, that's why I'm Neo. I just have another one. You may or may not know what that alias is. Well, it's just my first Minecraft username, minus the B. He has other plans. I can't actually remember how to spare these guys, and the beauty of it is like that. Like with the colorblind issue, I actually have to take a second. My reaction time is reduced because one of my brain has to sort out which of them is the correct color. Already done that. Banging my head against an ostrich with its hair stuck in it. Very mischievous, likes to mess with others. Okay, I have to help him. I have to use him to help me mess with him. I think, unless that's just a clue for. Bother. I'm going to die. How did I get here there? That makes no sense. Some hitboxes are fair, some of them are less fair. You plead not guilty. Don't go, I'm supposed to do that. Oh, maybe I had to do that all along. Oh, bro, that's what I should have done from the start. That was too. Oh, it was just like a domino effect. What drugs? Anyway, that's why I'm Neo-Antic. Well, in truth, I am actually Culvey, and I am also actually Neo-Antic. I am also kind of also censored, but you don't get to find out who I am at the moment. Unless you can dox me, in which case, you know, that's a... Some of you may dox me, but that's a sacrifice I am willing to make to get a... No, I have to stop now. Eagle is coming.